I think the major issues of this campaign are, number one is probably the economy, and I don't mean just our local economy, but I think it's the entire economy of the state, because whatever's going on at the Capitol is going to trickle down and is trickling down to our city here. That is one major one right now. Obviously, we have other issues here, and one of them is, of course, West Park, and the other one is our own budget, and also the other issue is, of course, our foreclosure situation that we have here in town, in our city. We have, I mean, those are just a few, but we have a lot more issues that, we've had to deal with. I think I'm the right person for the job because I can keep the momentum going. Because 2 years is not enough to move projects. Government moves very slow, and you need to keep continuity up to a point so that you can go ahead and continue moving the issues that we've got going. As you know, I was a big pusher to get the general plan started, and even if I don't win the election, I'm glad that I got that going. But it would be nice to complete that process, to come to a full circle, and I think that one more term would probably, would complete that. The other thing is, I think my experience speaks for itself, having had 3 years as a planning commissioner experience, and almost 12 years, 12 years as a city council member, and my exposure to being a mayor, which at the beginning wasn't really my choice. It was sort of something that I had to do for my community. I think that turned into more of a calling now for my second term because of all the things that we have going on right now. It's been a really, really difficult term as far as time, as far as issues that I never dealt with before being a council member. I was thinking about this very, very hard last night as I was reviewing some of these questions. And I think for the most part, the city has grown right. For the most part, I think that we provided adequate housing for a vast majority of people. We've been able to provide affordable housing. We've been able to provide senior housing. We've been able to provide housing for your average family. And we have been able to provide homes for more of the upper scale living status, the more expensive homes. And I think that the way that the city has grown as far as providing some economic development has grown right. I think that the development of the business park was a good idea, and that wasn't my baby, but I'm glad that I was part of that when Rich Doss was the mayor, and we had other members of the council at the time. And I'm very proud of that, because if it wasn't for that, we would continue to be a bedroom community. And to some people, we may still be a bedroom community. I would disagree. I think that we're moving towards getting out of that and starting to provide quality jobs, jobs that people in Patterson here can say that they can live here, especially now that our economy's taken a little bit of a turn to more affordable housing for the average citizen here in Patterson. There were some things at the beginning of my term that I feel, because I was new in politics, that perhaps we might have been a little bit more, our requirements and our guidelines and should have been a little bit more stricter when it came to some of the development. I refer to Harlan Ranch. There were a lot of issues with the quality of construction. And hindsight 2020, we probably should have been a little bit more stricter when it came to some of our guidelines. I do, however, feel that if it hadn't been for that, on the flip side, is that we wouldn't have had Save Mart. Patterson badly needed, really, really needed another grocery store. We needed a quality grocery store that could generate some sales tax, and we did that. So the flip side of maybe, poor planning at the time is that we provided some good economy for Patterson, and that started, a momentum of other businesses opening and providing for local tax dollars. I'm very proud to say that I live in Stanislaus County, despite the fact that we're very behind from other counties when it comes to our development. I travel to Turlock a lot, and I've always told myself that if I didn't live in Patterson, which is my first choice, I would probably live in Turlock. Turlock seems to be a city that has a little bit of everything. So to answer your question, would I like to see Patterson turn into a Turlock? Not necessarily right away, but we do need amenities. And in order to have amenities, sometimes you need to deal with the population growth. People are asking for a movie theater, for example. And we wonder how was it that a Riverbank, a smaller city in population than us, was able to get a theater before we did. They have Oakdale, and they have a certain portion of Modesto that can feed into that economy. We on the other side of the county, we deal with a serious geographical issue that we're sort of left by ourselves. So that sort of leaves us to fend for ourselves. And yes, I think that if we grew maybe to 30,000, maybe up to 40,000 in 10 to 20 years from now, would that provide a good, solid local economy and some quality of life amenities for our community members? Absolutely. So I would like to see that. And that's the other reason that I think that I need to stay involved, so that we can see a well-planned general plan, so that we can see the growth of Patterson for the future to involve a little bit of everything. Some growth is not going to hurt us. Ever since I was elected mayor, I think the community knows where my position has been. I was I was privileged enough to be part of the steering committee, which studied the West Park project. Well, not necessarily the West Park project. At that time, it was a Crow's Landing Air Base. West Park is referred, as we refer it now, is because that's what the developer that was chosen to master plan the project. So it was dubbed West Park because of that. But it's really the Crow's Landing Air Base project. And I I believe that we need some economic development in that area. I do believe that Patterson and the county can work together towards coming up with a good project. However, the decision to allow a master developer like Mr. Jerry Camillos to be the one to plan it and to completely go outside of the blueprint, I think it's unacceptable. I think that the city needs to continue to fight this. I think that it's in the best interest of the entire community. Although I know that the project has gained some momentum because Mr. Jerry Camillos has been very influential in trying to convince people that jobs is what this county needs. Yes, it's true, but not at the stake and not at the cost of a lot of concerns that the citizens of Patterson have. So I will continue to fight against that, and I will continue to fight the county to try and keep it to the blueprint, which is, the 1,527 acres. And to work with Patterson so that we can go ahead and come up with a good project that will work, complement Patterson, and work for the county as well, too.